Yeah, 128 players entered the tournament. Round one offered up some buys, some players with no shows. That was very naughty of you players. Single limp all the way through. Ralph Suke is in the building, sweating the action, sweating the final, former world champion. There's Bustamante. He played that little race to 3 exhibition just earlier on. Carlo Biardo to the far right, taking pictures with the fans. And there we got a glimpse of Mr. Pouya, the man who has brought this tournament to life. This is the season so far. All started back in March in Sarajevo. Philip won the opening tournament of the season. Then the Premier League followed on. It was another German, so back-to-back German wins, Neuhausen. But let's be honest, the UK Open is what kick-started something unbelievable. In the middle, we had Carlo Biardo, who we've just seen on our screens, who was the world champion for the second time. But Yap won 3 Open events on the spin. 32 match win streak without getting beat. Myself, Scott and JJ, we don't think that will ever be beaten in our lifetime. Well, all the fans are running around the back of me here screaming. That's because Efren's kind of leaving, so they're all going mad for pictures. It's just unbelievable what it's like over here. Never seen anything like it. There is the 2-time world champ, the current champ, Carlo Biardo. Yeah, there is Mr. Pouya in the blue shirt. He'll be out in the arena at the end of the tournament to present the trophy. Really, really nice man as well. JJ, I was just talking about Efren leaving the building there. I know you went to the bathroom. You must have got caught up in all that.
Yeah, I did, and been seeing a lot of mobs, right? Seen a lot of things on TV with different celebrities and sports figures and whatnot. But Efren gets it as well as anyone, especially right here in the Philippines.
Yeah, I mean, we've had our fair share of pictures and sign this and sign that this week as well.
Arseni Sevastyanov to break.
Yeah, it's almost like I saw some tears from some of them just being so close to the great Efren Reyes. Talked to our Sevastyanov in the restroom a little bit.
Oh, just now?
Yeah, and
what was said?
He just said, I can't believe I'm in the final here in the Philippines. It's like a dream. He seemed pretty happy overall.
Did you say, well, yes, you are, but you need to play, pal. Come on, kick on.
Nah, I just told him enjoy it and, you know, best of luck.
Well, maybe after the bathroom break with Coach JJ, we might see a different player. Maybe not.
Yeah, and it just really didn't have a... I don't think he really had much in mind on the cue ball there, but maybe coming short side on the red. David's got to make a nice one here with the follow stroke. I think it's there. I think he'll catch the 8 thin enough to go through the ball to the top rail and back out. Well, he's drawn it, so he's just kind of laying up here to play a safety, maybe a cross side bank. Thought he could follow that ball, Carl. Get to the rail and come back out for the cut. Does he have to double bank this kind of thick and just drag the cue ball down behind the 9? Maybe gets underneath the 4.
71 years of age, Efren. I'm trying to think of somebody in the sporting world in England that's 70-ish who would get the same reception. I just don't think it happens in my country.
Steve Davis, maybe?
No, Steve Davis wouldn't get mobbed wherever he went.
Well, I think that's a little the culture there too as well, right? I mean, although I was there at the Crucible, was it last year? Scottish Open, whatever that year, 2 years ago I think it was, but you know, Steve, I hadn't seen him in a long time, and he was doing the news show right there outside, and kind of went away to the restroom. I felt like that was the time to catch him, and I got up with him, and it was really nice to see him and talk to him. But he had quite a few around him there that were trying to get a picture and whatnot.
Yeah, at the event, and I know this is a pool event, but I'm led to believe that does this happen with Efren wherever he goes? If he was in the shop, would this happen? What's happening here?
Yeah, I mean, when I first came to the Philippines, we used to go in the streets and walk around and whatnot, and there was a bunch of people. I mean, hundreds, really.
Yeah, I just don't know if that would happen.
Is there a footballer, maybe, that would get that kind of attention?
Well, what I'm saying is in the 70s, there's plenty of sports people in the pomp that might happen. But I'm on about in the 70s, you know, where they've been and done it all and retired.
Yeah. Hard to say, but I mean, basketball's the biggest sport here, money-wise and whatnot. And of course, they love their basketball. You can see that on the telly, but pool's number 2.
Yeah, hence why there's so many great pool players from the Philippines. And there truly is, you know, even if you go in the bars, the people in the bars can play pretty well, can't they? You know, just to play for fun.
Well, I think to get this sport where we want it, you know, there's a lot of countries that need to, recognize it as another way of life for their children and whatnot. And I think that is the case here in the Philippines. I think it is a way to move on and maybe better yourself, you know, financially or whatever it may be.
Yeah, that makes sense, you know, when you think that Filipinos can fly somewhere to play in a tournament around the world, and obviously if they go deep or they win the tournament, they might win 50, 60, 70,000 US dollars. That is big money here in the Philippines.
Yeah, it's a big number, you know. We talked about a lot of countries that are lacking on the worldwide sporting kind of stage, and realize that, yeah, pool's one of them that they can produce the players and really, you know, get the itch and light that spark for billiards in their country. And I think it's very doable. I think Indonesia is a good country that we may see that come to fruition. Got a little flat again. This is where the camera angle will fool you. Got to kind of punch a little bit, or is he just flat drawing it? Yeah, straighter than I thought. Got a lot out of it though. And the problem we're seeing is Sevastyanov's strengths is what has let him down so far. Just pocketing that ball and trying to get to that break shot.
Yeah, David is not running the table out slow in any means. This is just normal pace of play. But when you compare that to his opponent, he's up there with Drago style. That's how fast Sevastyanov is, and just keeping him in his chairs, not letting him get in his flow. And of course he can't then get the crowd involved on his side, which he did a real good job against Jason at doing that. The crowd really was pulling for Sevastyanov just because of what he was doing out there, and he was doing all the "let me hear you" and things like that. But Alcaide, he's just doing a work like job. 6-2. Alcaide goes on to win this. How does Jason Shaw not pick him?
Well, I mean, I think it's very deserving. It's probably easy to see with your eyes how he's playing, and what he's done in the past in the Moscone especially. You know, it's not going to be another rookie, I don't think so, but it's almost like what we talked about with Team America. I think, I think one of the reasons I would pick Lucas, and nothing against Billy Thorpe, a good friend of mine and a guy I picked before in the Cup. It's just what he's done in comparison to the other players. You know, Billy last year, we know it's a good friend of Sky's and a guy he kind of can depend on, he feels like, for certain things. But Billy had a huge win at the Battle of the Bull, one of the smaller or bigger, smaller ranking events we have. So that really boosted him right before that pick, and I think had a lot to do with it, and maybe justified it. But I mean, you got to justify it not in every way, right? You can't just justify it in one way.
Yeah, decent run at the Perry Open. Billy, was it the quarterfinals?
Yeah, final 8. Yeah, and I said it the other day. I think day in, day out, Billy's playing his best pool ever.
Yeah, kind of one of them. You wouldn't be shocked to see him pick Billy, but at the same time, is it time to bring somebody new in just to see if they can develop? You know, because you need reliable team players, don't you? Not just for this Cup, but for the next few years.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, it hasn't been one year. It's been a steady incline for Lucas each year as well. And another thing that I think is overlooked is the losses he's taken. He doesn't ever get blitzed. It's been some brutal losses that have cost him more points, really.
We're talking about Billy, right?
No, I'm talking about Lucas.
Oh,
so,
Lucas,
you know,
right,
yeah, Lucas.
Yeah, on the tour, sorry.
Yeah, if you look through all of his matches, now Billy some the same, but I mean, you know, there's going to be pros and cons on, you know, no matter who's picked in that 5th spot. I think for Skyler, the best thing he can do is make sure he's in his best form as possible, putting in some time back home and whatnot, and I think that will go a long ways with the guys that he already knows are going to be on the team, Feder Gorst, and, you know, we assume SVB and Tyler Steyer. All right, just got to find the path. Maybe right back where he's at now. Oh, he kind of punched the ball, though, instead of rolling it. That was surprising. A pretty easy roll path there. Plenty of angle to just kind of smooth it back down. You know, he'll kick this way. There's a 2-rail kick both ways, but this one lets the cue ball get back up table coming across the 3. The 2-rail kick the other way, you're going into the 9 or 5.
May have fluked it. I was just going to say, David Alcaide comes to these events. He's always with Francisco Sanchez Ruiz. Very, very good friends. I think they actually live next to each other as well, in the same block. They've got a room what they both pay money into, where they've got a snooker table, a pool table. They do commentary for Eurosport snooker out of that room. So these are not just a couple of lads who play pool, who know each other on tour. These are really close friends, so that's a massive advantage. Sevastyanov, do you know anything about him? Is he here on his own? Is he with anybody?
Well, I was going to bring that up earlier, that he's another one that you feel like is just kind of out there by himself a little. And the reason why I was going to bring that up is I was thinking about Lucas again. Lucas used to be a little like that, but now in the last couple of years, he's starting to talk to more players, hang out with more players. He's still a little bit by himself at times. And sometimes a captain can look at that and say, hey, how's that going to fit? But I think that's changed a little bit for Lucas. But definitely Sevastyanov, I feel like, is a little bit of a loner.
Yeah, I remember doing an interview for somebody, some podcast, I can't remember which one it was, a while ago. And one of the questions was, oh, what advice would you give to somebody younger? And my answer was, I'd try and get somebody who you're very good friends with to travel with you. Whether it's a pool player, whether it's a girlfriend, somebody you can go to the tournaments with, because you know better than anyone, Jeremy, even what we do. It can be a lonely place at times when you're constantly on the road.
No, he's going to need some help. He got behind the 6, but never wanted to hang the ball here. Yeah, we talked about Mickey Krause being a little bit like that, you know, at times, but I think he's gotten a little more friendly with other players, and I think it helps. I really do. He's got to get it up quickly. Any miss hit on the cue ball, he could whiff this.
Foul shot.
So we've had all of it
Ball in hand.
from Sevastyanov, and not in the best ways. I think it was too much speed, huh, Carl?
Yes, it was. He'll learn a lot from this performance as well, Sevastyanov. Listen, it's not over. Of course it's not, but it's been a day to remember. Me and Scott was just speechless after that semi-final. Honestly, you've never seen anything like it. The last 5 racks.
Yeah, a lot of cleaning up here early for David. And again, David did get the snooker, but you still feel like should have made the jump. Maybe not gain position on the 5, but at least make the jump.
That helped. 2 rail kick, flute, the red 3. Yeah, confirmation 7-2 at the minute. This final is now a race to 13. Just feel like this event with single elimination, Jeremy, it's just been easy, hasn't it? Easy to follow, easy to explain. He's been beat, he's out, he's through to the next round. It's just felt easy. Not easy for the players, but for us.
Yeah, I mean, immediately the matches are worth something. I think the players can get up for that, understanding it is single elimination as well. Well, he's trying to find the break, I'll tell you that. He's had a little bit of here and there, but this will do.
Yeah, he's got a good look at this 2-ball now. And probably just float it in, leave centre of the table. Yeah, that's where he's going.
Kind of a tricky out, though, even though the 2's a nice starter. It's a hair thin, the 3's near the lower left, but then getting on the pink 4 from where I assume he's going to be, that's why he's looking at going 3 rails to come around. And it's all about not getting on the 3. It's about getting from the 3 to the 4. I don't think he should take that chance at the moment. Up 7-2, Carl. I mean, I think he's not going to get snookered on the 4, right? Easy if he goes 3 rails to end up short or a little long, and now he's maybe put himself in a jam. He's going all the way around. Well, at first glance, it looks pretty darn good. This is going to open things up.
Yeah, that nice little angle. Nicely played. Yeah, he's come round to have a look, so he's just going to stun off the left rail.
Have to think about it, but this is an out to go up 8-2, and is this going to be our first break and run of the match? Feel like it might be the second, but definitely haven't been many. Okay, I don't try to fall straight here myself. I try to get that angle to come 2 cushions just because he's a little thin here. Yeah, I like that play. That way he's not getting longer distance from the 7. easily work the rock.
It's going to be a tall order for Arseni to win this match now, isn't it, Jeremy? From 8-2, we've not seen anything that's going to make us believe it can happen.
Yeah, and I tell you, David had a couple little mistakes, but feel like he'll need a lot of help from David to get back in this match. Carl Boys just stepping out of the booth. Scott Frost is coming in to finish this match. We'll see Carl more at the trophy presentation, and it's a lot like the Spaniard may get that first inaugural trophy for the Philippine Open. But you never know, it's a 9-ball pool. You definitely can believe that Arseni, even though it's been a little rough, he's not going to give in.
Break 11. David and Alcaide to break.
He's got the one a lot more dialed in. A little bit different hits from time to time on the one ball, but I think he's only missed it once. I think just taking that little bit of speed off has really helped. And he's not babying him by any means, but like I said, Scott Frost now back in the booth.
Thanks, JJ. It looks like a little different player on the break shot for sure. They both look a little different to me. Arseni probably a little drained from that match, right? Like he's not been in this situation, I'm sure, ever in his life, and that match with Shaw took the wind out of him, I could assume.
Yeah, and that could be the case for sure. What I kind of see is, and having that feeling, and I've had that feeling in the past myself, is the typical kind of shots he's missed, the way he's missed them, there's definitely some nerves flowing. Knows it's a big moment. Hard to ignore it. A little bit odd here just because he's on the rail, really can't dig into the ball much. So is he going to try and float this come one rail on the 6? Yeah, he's just trying to guard the object ball. Pretty smart. Pretty smart, especially when you're recognizing your opponent has had a bit of struggles here in this final.
Extension.
Yeah, what do you see, Jeremy, in Arseni's mechanics as far as flaws?
Not really much. I mean, really straight up and down with everything. I think overall pretty good stuff. I mean, everyone's tempo's a little different, so tempo will determine how long you go through the ball and all that, but overall I think really good. He's a guy that likes to stun the ball a little more and maybe doesn't flow through the ball with English quite as much, but what happens is when you're young like that, everyone has their preference, and their setup's going to kind of create that preference. But almost like Akachi when he was young, it was very similar. But then he learned that, hey, I need to get a little sweeter with things. I need to be able to understand not getting into the ball all the time. And so that, his technique and arsenal for Arseni, pardon the partial pun, yeah, this has got to keep going. It will only improve.
Yeah, I think as time goes, especially more times in this scenario, or even anywhere close to this scenario, quarterfinals, semifinals, he's probably going to slow it down just a tick. Even that split second will make a big difference, but maybe walking around the table a little bit more
Yeah, I think that's more of the key than anything. We've talked about Billy Thorpe in this final a little bit just because the Moscone Cup, and of course Skyler's got a decision to make, and I don't think it's an easy one. I think he really has to consider another player, not necessarily has to pick him, but has to consider it at least. But used to talk to Billy quite a bit. We're trying to calm him down with the stroke a little bit, add that pause at the cue ball, and I said, Billy, if you're storming around the table, you know what I mean? That ain't necessarily putting us in the right direction to try and do some things with the stroke. And I think that's the main thing for Sevastyanov, is a little calmer around the table. I think that really sets up for just improving a little bit.
Yeah, I don't know how much of this he can get. The left side, no good. He can get all of it, or at least the full ball. There's some options. I don't think he can catch it thin enough on the left side. Maybe he can, but that seems dangerous to me. Oh, he can.
I thought he was just bunting it up the rail maybe, but I think he did exactly what he wanted. I don't think he could make it. I think he was just trying to get it up there and use that 5 ball to hold the cue ball.
Yeah, and he caught a double kiss down there on the 5, which saved him, but that's okay. Still good. These are the ones here that if you don't feel like you, that's what I was going to say though. If you don't feel like you can make it, then I think you've got to pass it. But if you're going to pass it, you've got to make sure and get him covered up. I know you were a bit surprised about it, but he's on the bottom rail there. It's, when you're not confident on this table with this crowd, I mean, it's pretty tough.
Yeah, the only thing is, I mean, that's really his strength over David. And to me, to get back to his strength, he needs to get the confidence to knock that ball in. And you got to believe he's going to have to come with some of those to overcome a huge lead. David's just not going to give him a ton of help.
No, and he's going to feed off that weakness like here. Maybe, just maybe, this is exactly what Arseni needed. Because he needs some help right now, like Jeremy just said. What a great hit by Alcaide. The dunk in the side there, just too good. And when I talk about slowing it down a tick, it really is maybe the pace around the table. I don't know if this, I think it's just built in now. I don't think it's just heart rate, because he's always like this. They love him here.
Yeah, the style of play is attractive, that's for sure. And again, some of the mannerisms that go along with it from Arseni are the same. They want to see a close match, period.
Yeah, that last match, and there's a good look at Arseni. That last match, I talked to him prior to the start of the match with Jason Shaw. Doesn't speak a lot of English, but you can catch it, right? And so we were talking for a couple of minutes. Said that he has an osteopath that he goes to back home. He's only 22, and I said, well, what do you mean by that? And he said, well, I work on my health because I know my future in this game is so important. So why start later? Well, at 50 years old, there's some things I'd like to redo, so that makes perfect sense to me. But then he told me, he wanted to do this for Mika Immonen, the late Mika. Rest in peace.
Right 12.
Sponsored by the Mez Qs. Trailing 8-3. Now that's a start. And that's actually a good kiss from, I believe, the blue 2 onto the cue ball. Excuse me, it's the red 3. Can you miss the 5? Tucking out of the corner, no way. So this is a scenario right here where you really kind of got to be aware of what's worthwhile and what's powerful. You can knock the 2 up past the 6 or in between the 8 and 6 and glue him to the 9 is their value. Absolutely, but I just don't see that being his style. And at this level, okay, maybe he's looking at it. Okay, I like it. It's a good sign. Bad luck tying the 6-3 up. Did very good with the cue ball there. Might force David to come low here. I don't know. He's completely welded to the 9. Yeah, well, that's all due to how good Arseni had him to the 9 there. He had to kind of shoot away from it. So getting into that second rail, he really had to dig. Didn't dig enough. Where are you going at the breakout this way? What about the right side pocket?
Extension.
Now he's looking at it. I don't know, drawing the ball towards those balls, you could get stuck up behind them pretty easily. And a good strike. Just never really saw how you could come away with a good shot there. What about coming down behind the 8 and 9? Yeah, seeing some. I get you're trying to get behind the pink all the way over there, but low percentage, in my opinion. Just really tough to do. David's going to recognize that, obviously. Much higher percentage coming down table behind the 8 or the 9. Just chipping the 3 across.
Extension.
Can do the same thing here if he wishes. Trying to get to the 6, and he has arrived. Yeah, I'm looking at this path here. The 5 is massive, so I don't believe the 2-rail line is available.
Foul stroke.
That really didn't look doable either. 1 rail, you know it's going to lengthen out off that first rail, so pretty interesting.
Got some work here, but fairly open. Your opinion, of course, Scott. You're always around these events now, watching all this pool. Europe always has some players to choose from, or at least you would think that. But I think it's going to be hard for Jason to overlook this man for that final spot in Moscone.
Yeah, Carl and I were talking about that earlier. I agree. He's so consistent. He's kind of like the glue, right? He's kind of like the anchor to everything. He's so consistent, so good tactically, so good in those big games. I have to kind of agree with that.
Yeah, and you carry 2 rookies that he can really, you know, Jason's always a great doubles partner with a guy that maybe isn't feeling his best, or maybe a rookie, which Europe hasn't had a ton of those, but in recent years, but I think David's right along those same lines, and a guy that takes control in those doubles matches in the best way too, a real positive manner.
Yeah, and I think Pius and Moritz, you know, well, I don't think, I know they're going to get along with him very well. So I think that works. I don't know what it is about me and looking at Moritz Neuhausen. I just don't feel like he's a rookie, but he is. I guess same goes with Pius, but I know that scenario and those fans out there in that stage is a completely different ball game.
Yeah, it's like really nothing I've ever really been around in my life. Been to the World Series, been to a lot of different sporting events, and of course I wasn't playing, but pool's so delicate anyway, and that heart rate gets way up there. But to add to your point, you can just say those are two rookies that are highly ranked and qualified. They weren't picked because of one thing or another.
Exactly.
They got through there on their own, and both, I know one's a top 10 guy, that being Moritz. He's number 7 now, and I don't think Pius is far behind.
Yeah, Pius has jumped way up the rankings. As a matter of fact, I thought he was 7th now, right? But it doesn't.
Yeah,
they're all right.
They're both
there.
right there, top 10. And another thing is two guys that are very good friends. And Pius and Moritz, they spend a lot of time together, you know, when they're away. I know around the New York area and all those East Coast events, they're, you know, buddies. So, I mean, that's going to serve well. And also the Reyes Cup, where, you know, Moritz had a couple little things get away at the beginning, but he looked real solid after that. And the good thing is knocking the ball in. You're going to get, you know, information, and you're going to just acclimate to the table conditions the more you get out there. But if you're still knocking the ball in, that's a real good sign.
Yeah, fully agree. Tell you what, it's been a quiet, I don't know, you're gonna, I'm sure you can help me on this, but it's been a quiet year to 2 years for David, right? I think this is something he really needs. When I say quiet, I'm talking about big wins outside of the cup, right? I think, was he on the team 2 years ago?
Yeah, he was on the team last year.
Last year as well.
Last year as well, yeah. And
it's been a while, though, you know what I mean? So I think this is like really perfect timing for David, and I think very deserving as well if he goes on to win this match.
Yeah, and you know, he's been kind of knocking on the door all year a little bit. Final 16, kind of quietly going about his business. And, you know, we have more events now, but we still don't have, it's still not like the PGA Tour 40 events, right? So, and the winners are the ones that are really looked at the most in our sport. But he's been super steady. And, again, getting back to those other guys, that's just how good they've been all year, that being Moritz and Pius and the guys that have qualified via the rankings. All right, he can just stop here, right? Come straight down the table off the pink.
Yeah, outside of Beato, it's really been a young man's season, right? All younger players really showing out.
Yeah, and you talk about every year they ask about the match of the year. To me, the final at the World Championships has still been the match of the year for me, and there's been a lot of incredible ones, don't get me wrong, and the last round was an incredible one, but for the setting, that's not going to be happy with that.
No, he caught it real fat, that inside ball, and just didn't adjust for the swerve.
Yeah, and he read my mind there. He just got a little quick with the takeaway, and then what happens is that makes you kind of quit a little bit. Not necessarily decel, but you just don't quite get through the ball as much. You could see the arm. He kind of moved it a little bit. Now, does he take on this thin one that does play, but he's going into the 8? I don't even know if it does play, actually.
Yeah, I don't think it's doable, JJ.
Now, he's really good with the cue ball. He could tickle this and go behind the 8.
I know.
Right spin.
Yeah, sorry. I know his opponent might just take the cross corner on. I don't know. He almost would, but I don't think David will do that. This is where he's really, in my opinion, top 3 or 4 on the tour and has been for some time.
Yeah, and the other thing you can learn from that is, you know, he recognizes things quickly. That's another reason why he's so good in the Moscone is it doesn't take him a lot to see what the correct shot is. But after not hitting a ball how he wanted, he took that extra time to regroup. Even though it's an easy shot for him to play behind the 8, he didn't rush it. Let the frustration go.
You can hit this two ways. You can hit it going in or on the way out. Bottom side is the only side. Yeah, on the way out. Does he get away with it? I think he might get a little lucky. Rail first is on.
Yeah, the rail first is on. The only thing that may be a little worrisome is he's got to put a little speed on this to get comfortable on the 6, or he's got to go super light to hold for the 6. So he could crash near the 7 depending on how he hits it. But watch out for the scratch in the lower left.
Yeah, especially if he hits it hard. I think it could warp into the bottom of the 7.
Yeah, you don't want to float it. He could. Again, it's got to be a little speed or a little light.
Yeah, and he pointed at the 7. I feel like he was never really comfortable with 7, which is obviously not the right way to go about it.
Yeah, and that last look, especially with speed, shows me that he was a little high up the rail. Okay, just stay away from the 9. Don't let anything crazy happen. You know, people may say, well, it's the finals. If he does go on to lose this and, you know, lose by a score that's not too friendly because of the mistakes he's made, they say, well, why wouldn't you slow down? Why wouldn't you do this and not make sure you're doing what you want to do and kind of double checking things? And just not him, right?
Yeah, this is what got him here. I mean, how do you back off on what got you where you are today? Not just here in this tournament, but here overall.
Yeah, and some people, you know, kind of compute everything a little quicker than others.
Yeah, and that's just not trusting yourself at that point, right? That's really what it comes down to after some, pretty big mistakes.
Yeah, and it's definitely become mental.
This is a big win for him, man. I really, really feel like this is exactly what David Alcaide needs.
Yeah, that's why you keep plugging. That's why you keep at it, keep practicing every day. Him going to the gym reminds me of a few years ago where he just, you know, kind of had a lackluster season, lost some matches badly to players that certainly wasn't his caliber, and then went on to win a big final at the European Open after against Anton Rada. Another match that could go down as one of the best you'll ever see.
Yeah, and then in the PLP before last, he was the talking point, not in a good way. He lost 14 out of 15 matches. Of course, they're races to 5, and anything can happen. Races to 7, are they? I can't even remember the PLP. Races to
7, yeah. Well, no,
they're
5. There are 5.
Yeah, he lost 14 out of 15 matches. Remember that?
Yeah, and, you know, he gave some away, but some things worked against him, and then it just kind of snowballed from there.
David Alcaide to break.
Yeah, the final is a race to 7 is what it is. Oh, he got away with one there. I think the cue ball was going to get lost, and now quite the opposite. He's dressed up on the 2, and he's got a great split on the rack.
Yeah, you just go inside the 8 here. You can come up to the left side of it. The left side of it's actually even cleaner, but you can slow the cue ball down going on the inside of it if you'd like.
Yeah, you would think it's got to be inside. You can just broaden the angle and the speed. A little light. May go into the 7 here. Just roll into it, hit it nice and full. He's got the pink in the upper right. Can he get around the 7 going forward? I don't think so, but oh, he could with a little stun, but now a little light here as well. And all of a sudden, you know, the cue ball's been short on a lot of occasions.
Can you check this below the 7? Just take the distance on the 5? I think you could.
Yeah, I think so.
You don't have to come above it.
I wonder if he's thinking about digging on it, coming around 3 rails, but
yeah, that'll work.
yeah, real smart, this guy. Now he can come 2 rails deep out of the corner, catch the 3rd rail just past the 7, and have the 6 laid up for the upper right.
Yeah, and I do believe Arseni is nervy, right, Sevastyanov, but I think that it has something to do with that match with Jason. It was so draining, so intense, that it's now become nervy in a bad way, right? You've been there, we've all been there, where you have that match that just, you kind of give everything you have, and then you realize, wait a minute, this next match is even bigger, and you're up for it, but then it just doesn't really feel right.
Yeah, I mean, talk about it with people all the time that, you know, pros can play really well, and the next morning they're getting up practicing because it is so delicate. And then when you have that good match that you can lean on in that same day, really goes a long ways. You know, it's almost like whenever I didn't play much and I'd go to a tournament, if I could play a good match early, I could get a great feeling. But otherwise, until then, it's going to be shaky. And if you have one of those performances where there's a lot of mistakes, it can certainly carry on into the next match, especially on the same day, I think.
Yeah, making this look pretty easy is Alcaide. 11 games to 3. He's just 2 away. And the crowd getting into it.
Yeah, I think only our 2nd breaking run, and they both been by David, maybe our 3rd. Never know what a captain's thinking, but I still feel like just getting to this final, the way he's played in some past matches, pretty solid here, pretty smart as well. He's used the brain quite often. I think he's maybe punched his ticket to that Moscone Cup.
Yeah, I can't disagree with that. I can't remember what match it was. It was early in this tournament, but when I watched him win that match, I kept a close eye on him the rest of his matches. And he really looked good to me. He looked confident the whole time. Never, you know, where there's sometimes David will play where he looks like he might have a little doubt within him. It's never shown me that this week. And watch out, cue ball. Watch out, just high.
Yeah, and he's dressed up on the 2 again, so trying to end this match in style. 4-7's a little funny on the side, but the combo does play. Speaking of combos, can he get to the 3-9? That's a possibility.
Yeah, I think he can wrap around the lower left side if he had to, but you'd have to catch it pretty full and then put that spin on it. I don't know, can you? Yeah, I don't think you can. Can you draw out of this? I don't think he'll play it.
I like that. I didn't think there was a lot of ways to go wrong. Now, he did end up on the rail, but he's fairly natural to come across for the combos. Got to watch out for the side near where the cue ball's at now.
Yeah, the way he motioned, I think he planned on connecting with the 9 ball there. And it threw his hands up in the air when it went through.
Yeah, I think this is pretty good, though, overall, all things considered.
A little short again.
Yeah, and what that is just like at the beginning of a match, at the end of the match, closing, right? Looking at the safety here. Sorry, Scott.
No, you're good. Reality sets in, though, and any way you slice it, that's really what's happening.
Not the worst combination to shoot at, but he's going to use the 9 as he comes across. Not his best. think he's got to try and knock this in, Scott. Get the feeling good about something, right?
Yeah, and get up behind the purple if he has to here.
Yeah, I think if you force that, though, I think you're going to miss the bank. But maybe not.
But it looks... Wow. Yeah, he might have Arseni kind of like a deer in headlights here.
Yeah, there was that look early. They showed him after some mistakes. I believe it was around 5-1. And I almost made that exact comment. Okay, David's been really good at controlling the object ball, just trying to bang it 2 rails up the table. Really doesn't have anything for cover.
Extension.
And this is where if the match is a little different, he may think differently, but why do anything, you know, why change what you've been doing here? Just kind of protect against the offensive shot. Really don't see him doing anything else. Yeah, he just got it past the side. To me, that's a hard one to control for me anyways. But again, David's on another level with some of these shots.
Extremely crafty, right? We see what he was doing there. Even if the 4 gets a little bit past and the cue ball opens up, still got to contest with the 8 in the upper left corner. So very crafty.
Yeah, and I think just trying to create something there, but that's why I get back to the bank shot. I think I would have tried to attack on that end, really. I think where he was at there, the kick shot behind the 4 and trying to send the cue ball towards the 8 was probably a little higher percentage than the jump bank, but, you know, again, he's trying to get something going on his side, but David Alcaide just 4 really kind of easy shots, so what should be easy shots to get on the heel quickly.
Kind of as predicted. We talked about this prior to the match starting. I felt like he was going to control the majority of it because of watching Jason and Arseni. There were multiple opportunities where Arseni could have played a lockup safety. Now he seems to be playing the opposite. So I knew when it came up to that, David was going to win those battles. Or I shouldn't say I knew, I felt like David would win those battles.
Yeah, and, you know, he's going to win those battles against a lot of guys.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and, you know, some are going to be a little harder, and you're not going to win quite as many, but there's just not too many players that are going to outwit this guy. Going to get nice and tidy here on the 9, and I'll tell you, watch out for a golden break in the next to finish it off.
Yeah, it's been a while for David Alcaide, but he is within 1. A big sigh of relief, but it's not over yet. It's on the verge.
Break 16. David Alcaide to break on the heel.
All right, he has missed a 1, maybe a bit quick in the pullback there, which I haven't seen since I stepped in the box.
Yeah, and he missed it short, which has not been the theme in the semifinal, and here when he has missed the 1, it's been to the high point every time. Awkward here though, 2-up table, 3-8 covered up. Not an easy shot here on the 1, especially when probably you don't feel like you can get out.
Yeah, good strike there. Is it too little, too late? I mean, let's just be honest. It feels like it. He's passed up a couple of shots in the last few games that surprised us.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I've seen some of the most amazing things in sports, and certainly pool, and I would have to say it definitely is a little late, little too late. Watch out. It's gone.
Yeah, and that's a big raise up in the Q-tip. Also the head, you could see that in the replay. The head just slightly come up, almost like he was staring the shot down before he made contact with the cue ball. Is it game number 16 that Alcaide wins his first big tournament since the European Open?
Yeah, the 4-9 is there. I think he'll just clear him up depending on where he falls on this ball. Now he's got options. Have to at least look at it, right, Scott?
Yeah, I would think so, especially with the score line and how things have gone, but he wants to finish in class. No early 9 before it's time. That's what he's thinking.
Yeah, and the 6-7 could get a little funny, but with the 5 near, the 6 goes to the lower right. Obviously to the upper right is the desired pocket, but really he's just he's going to make a pretty easy decision.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, Jeremy, I know you've known David a long time. I've known him a long time. After working on this tour, you get to know him even better. Such a great guy, such a hard worker, and such a bulldog, man. It really is a bulldog. And he's going to give the crowd a little something, take a deep breath, because I can guarantee you this means the world to him.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you know, he's staying in shape. He's doing all the right things. Of course, he's a guy that does make all the events. So he's giving himself every chance to win. But it's so hard to win out here. And as the years go on, it gets even harder.
Since the European Open a few years back, beating Raga, Hill, it's your turn again, buddy. David Alcaide, Philippine Open inaugural champion, and he's going to live it up.
Yeah, very deserving cheers there. I think these fans can be satisfied with this inaugural Philippine Open. And, you know, they wanted one of their countrymen to really hoist this trophy, but David is a great ambassador, incredible player, and a true champion.
Yeah, and I think we all understand Arseni will be back. He's got so much talent, but it's been David's week. He's played solid all week, and I don't think anybody is more deserving than him. And you've just got to be happy for the guy. Pure class. He's played with class all week. And this is going to carry him a long way, Jeremy, right? When we get a little bit older, 47, 48, 49, he's 47 right now. You start to get doubts in your mind. He wins this event. This is going to carry him a long way. But for now, I think we're going to send it down to the one and the only Carl Boyce.
Arseni, first of all, congratulations. Just a little bit short in the final. Tell us how you're feeling. Where do you feel like the final went a little bit wrong?
It all happens when I feel actually bad before the final. I was too excited. That's how I even survived to the final, because I know that Jason must be in the final when he missed the 9 ball. That pulled me in to the game, and I won this game. And then I was feeling that I even can't be the final, but It's my first time in final here. It's so hard to play in first time in VNT when you just coming to the top best in the world and play with them always and until the final. So.
Do you feel like you'll learn a lot from the semi-final? Obviously, it's probably the craziest match we've ever seen on the World 9-Ball Tour. You only had a couple hours to sort of rest and then get ready for the final. Is this something you'll learn back from?
Yes, I learned that the pool can be a tough division at all. When you play like over 2 hours and straight just hill and you have only 1 hour to recover back again to the game, and then it can be too tough against the Jason and against the with the full of crowd. When you enjoy it, you enjoy it so much that you waste yourself also. Then your game will be next time not so good because you're wasting a lot of.
Arseni, there's a lot of people in here who, you got a lot of people on your side, you was giving it all the years and your style of play is very attractive. How much have you enjoyed playing here in the Gateway Mall in front of all these Filipino pool fans?
Most than ever in my life. I enjoyed it a lot.
Arseni, congratulations. Next time, I think you'll get the win, but you've got new fans in the Philippines, so well done. Your runner-up, Arseni Sevastyanov. The champion, El Matador, doing it for us lads who are in the 40s. First of all, congratulations. Sum up how you feeling right now, pal.
Well, first, I want to say thank you so much. All the fans, it's incredible to play in this venue from all Filipino fans. Thank you so much. They give me a lot of support. Well, second, I want to say congratulations, Arseni. He plays so good all the tournament. Don't care about the final. Sometimes he need to take experience, but he's a big talent. For me, I want to say thank you for of course, my family. They support me a lot. I don't want to cry, but 1 year ago I lost my mom. I want to give this trophy for her. Whatever you are, mom, it's for you.
Nice words, David. Well said. I just want to go back to the match against JB Susil. Obviously, he was playing on this table. They were all shouting, JB, how much has that helped you, come on and end up winning this match, going through a match like that where you had all the crowd against you, but very sporting in that match, and that seemed to gain a lot more fans throughout the week.
You know me, Carl, I'm trying to give my best in the table and also trying to enjoy. And for sure, the most important, this is a sport, and we need to support this sport. When you play some talent with you need to enjoy the moment, but also the rest to the player, no? We look in this venue, amazing people, amazing players. I really enjoy this venue.
What about playing in front of all these crowds? Look at all the levels. I know you've played in the Philippines before, but you've played in the Mosconi Cup. It's pretty insane, isn't it?
No, it's the same. When you play a single tournament, it's not the same when you play Mosconi. Mosconi, you have all your team, all your family, all the family for the team. They support a lot, and it's different, no? In Mosconi, we have 3,000 people. Here, I don't know how many, but look, it's total full. I can't believe it, I win this trophy.
Last question. You have a knack of playing some pretty good pool at the end of the season. The Mosconi Cup is coming up. You've sent a big message to the captain.
I don't know. For sure, for Jason, it's really tough to pick so many big players in Europe. I am so happy about winning this tournament. If finally he want to pick me, of course, I'm so happy. But if you don't pick me, I give my support also.
Well, David, you've played awesome. Congratulations, your winner, El Matador, David Alcaide. And now it's time to present the trophy. Your runner-up at the Philippines Open 2025, Puyat sport owner, Mr. Puch Puyat. Your runner-up, Arseni Sevastyanov. And presenting the winner's trophy, CEO of Matchroom Multisport, Miss Emily Fraser, and your winner of the 2025 Philippines Open, El Matador, David Alcaide. Your runner-up at the Philippines Open 2025, Puyat Sport owner, Mr. Puch Puyat. Your runner-up, Arseni Sevastyanov. And presenting the winner's trophy, CEO of Matchroom Multisport, Miss Emily Fraser, and your winner of the 2025 Philippines Open, El Matador, David Alcaide. Come over here, pal. I'm with a certain European pool captain, Jason Shaw. Jason, I think he wants to tell you something.
Yeah, I just want to say congratulations. You played amazing there in the final. You played really good this tournament, and I think you deserve to win. Unlucky to your opponent, he played a good match too, but I think he's got a lot more in the future, and I think he's going to be back here again. So congrats to him too, but I just want to let you know that, you know, we have two picks, and I'm going to pick myself for one, and I want to give the last spot to you for the Mosconi Cup. So I just want to say congratulations, and I think you deserved it with this performance.
Wow, so many big surprises in this tournament. I want to say thank you so much for giving me your confidence. Of course, you know, I give my 100% for the team, for trying to support for all this week. I'm so happy, and also I am ready, Captain. I am ready.
Yeah, I think you bring a lot to the team with your ability to show certain players who have not been there before, and you know, you bring a strong presence to the practice room, and just your aura around the team means a lot. So it's good to have you back on the team.
Thank you so much.
Let's go.
So much, bro.
You're
Thank
welcome.
You.
Congratulations.
Oh!
All right, guys, we are back. Me and Double J, Jeremy Jones, and real quick, man, what a week for David Alcaide. He was just chosen by the captain, Jason Shaw. He is in to the Mosconi Cup this year, Jeremy, and I think it's pretty well deserving.
Yeah, and I don't think it's hasty by any means. I think Jason has kept an eye on David. I think he was always on his mind, and he wanted to see some things from David probably. Probably didn't tell David that, but he wanted to see some things, and he certainly has this week. And he's seen them in the past in the Mosconi. So, I mean, that's, I think, never an easy pick, especially for Europe with so many players, but I think it was a very, very good pick and a very wise one at that.
Yeah, fully agree. Probably the most mature player you could put on the team, and a leading role for sure, and he'll act as that. They're the Spaniards, David's good friends. Man, what a week. Jonas Tuto, FSR, all good friends.